cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, it's been a while. I would have brought you a podcast this week. I was all set to do it, and then something happened. My computer broke.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 1882, and I'm Mike Matthews, and how are you? There was this thing with my old computer, and I use Windows 10 because it's been a friend to me so far, but now that has to end, and I might go to Apple. No, hell no, I won't do that because...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That sucks, but my Windows 10 will not allow me to log in.
Mike's
It's got that
Daily
thing where I
Podcast.
go to the landing page when my computer starts, and I hit the space bar so that my little password box pops up, and it doesn't let me... It will not let me put my password. It doesn't show the box for my password. I can't even put my password in because I don't have a box is what I'm trying to say. There's no box for my password. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I said it in a myriad of ways that you don't need to know, but whatever. At any rate, I'm so mad. I'm so angry. I'm full of hate and anger and virile and piss and vinegar because of this sad situation. Yeah, because I wanted to have my lovely lady friend on. Oh, and then this past week, and because this is a daily podcast, I wanted to do it daily. I tried, Lord knows I tried, but I could not. I've tried all kinds of different ways to do it. I've even gone onto the Microsoft community answer thing, which you have to be careful about because there are people that will try and scam you or spam you or whatever on that, but I have gotten some good tips so far, so I will try those and hopefully be able to podcast from home for you once again. So what happened this week? Oh, lordy, Lord.
And here's today's podcast picture.
So, well, let's see. Some people at my work who don't get along had a little blow up. Ooh, there was a couple of blow ups this week. That's right. At my job. Some people just finally said some stupid things that set off other people. And thus we had a blow up. We had a little explosion. Some, different situations happened. And look who's here. Hello, Mike. This is Bison Bentley. I mean, it's the John Deere the engineer. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's John Deere the engineer, not Bison Bentley, because he goes, "Do you know dat?" And you don't say that. No, I don't. But I am in the podcast picture. Mm-hmm. Yes, so John Deere the engineer, you can see him now. MikesDailyPodcast.com. And there's Basil. And we had some fun times with Basil. Oh, let's all start with last show, which unfortunately was on Sunday. I meant to do one in the middle of the week, but I told you about the computer problems. Anywho. And Basil's in the podcast picture from like 2 podcasts back. He and I and my lovely lady friend went to the pool. Well, actually, he wasn't allowed in the pool. But we took him to his nice little creek that he likes after we went to the pool. But it was so nice to go to a pool and to submerge and be in all those chemicals and surrounded by all the off skin and fluids and whatever else might be in the pool from all the other people. That's the truest sense of community, is when you're in the community pool. You just immerse yourself in community. And so we won't go too much further into that, except to say it was a wonderful hot day. Well, it wasn't that hot. It got hot this week. Oh, the Bay Area when it's hot just ain't fun at all. There are people that live inland, away from the Teslas, away from the stinky homeless. And somebody brought up an interesting point. Why do we call them homeless? They aren't homeless. They are mentally ill in some way. They have some kind of... Well, I don't know anything about that, really. I can't say, but the people that have done research into this say that most homeless people are having issues in a psychological, mental way, or they're just drug addicts of some kind that have been forced into the streets by the drugs that they are doing, because the drugs, they make them want the drugs. So they go try and find the drugs, and they have to leave their house. And then they don't have a house anymore because they've spent it all on drugs. I don't know. Something happens like that. But we just sort of do this lump homeless label when we're not addressing what the real problem is. The problem isn't that they're homeless. Well, I mean, I guess if they're sleeping in the middle of the BART station, and well, that's all sad and everything. So that, and yes, they're homeless. They're without a home. They're sleeping in the BART. The BART has become their home. But they are at the first. Let's talk about what's causing it. Let's talk about why these people are estranged from society and work on those. That was a little side note someone said to me, and it made me think. At any rate, and yes, they don't have showers because they don't have homes, and thus they're stinking. But some have shelters, and where am I going with this? Oh, it was hot. It was hot, and I'm tired. And that's partly because I have a dog that wakes me up in the middle of the night many times. When my dog does these sleepwalking things, oh, wow, he'll kick the bed. But it can be hard to maintain a healthy lifestyle in the hustle and bustle world that we live in. Taking good care of your body and mind can make a difference in how healthy you are in general and how well you cope with change. So you need rest. And that's what I'm talking about on today's show. Here's a good tip for getting a good night's sleep. Avoid stimulants like caffeine and nicotine in the evening. Avoid the enes. Hey, you know what? I just had a bunch of coffee, so I'm one to talk. Set a wake and sleep schedule to go by every day of the week, including weekends. You know, that's true because we tend to sleep in on the weekends, don't we? We're like, I got all this time. I don't need to be anywhere. I'll sleep in. But then that messes us up on the Monday. Your body temperature drops during your sleep, so keep your thermostat at a cool but comfortable temperature between 60 and 70 degrees, which was very, very difficult to do the past couple of days when I don't have air conditioning and the house is so hot. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valentino today. I should have gone to sleep outside. It would have been cooler. Avoid afternoon naps. Now, I don't agree with this. If you need a nap, if naps are all the best you can do, I say go with the naps. Yes, it causes it to be, you might have insomnia. But if you need sleep, you need sleep. And naps are important. I think it was on Monday, I actually napped under a tree. I had a break that I had to take, and I went outside. I found a tree and the nice breeze. I was under a pine tree, and there's nothing like listening to the wind blowing through the pine needles. I think I'm hearing it now because we're outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valentino, and you can see a podcast picture of the cafe anyway at MikesDailyPodcast.com. And you can tell me what you think. What's your tip for getting a good night's sleep? 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. M as in Mike Matthews, daily as in what this podcast tries to be and is not. Try not to watch TV or do work in bed. If you do, stop an hour before you'd like to be asleep so your brain has time to unwind. They say that when you're watching TV and sitting in bed, you're associating all that stress that you're getting off of the TV with your sleeping, with your bed in the bedroom. You should keep all that out of the bedroom. And if you typically exercise in the afternoon or evening, try to fit your workout in earlier in the day. Don't work out at night if you can. R.E.M. is a band with Michael Stipe, Mike Mills, and the other guys. I can't think of them at the moment. But REM is also rapid eye movement. It is the most restorative of the 5 cycles of sleep and should account for 1/4 of the time you spend sleeping. For example, an adult who sleeps 8 hours in a night should spend a total of 2 hours in REM sleep. If you don't get enough sleep or good quality sleep every once in a while, you may notice that you wake up feeling groggy, not well rested, and experience difficulty concentrating, kind of like what I'm doing right now. If you consistently do not get enough quality sleep, you are at higher risk for conditions like heart disease. Ooh, that's not good at my age. Diabetes. Ooh. Obesity, headaches, and depression. Try to stay in the suggested guidelines for amount of sleep. Getting too much sleep on a regular basis can be problematic for health as well. There you go. I got all that from Mental Health America. Hey, maybe they could tell us about homeless people and mental health. So, let's see. Oh, by the way, the amount of sleep you need depends on your age. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute recommends at least 11 to 12 hours for the preschool-aged kids, 10 hours for school-aged kids. Like, they get that. They're gaming all the time. 9 to 10 hours for teens. Like, they get that. They're gaming all the time. And 7 to 8 hours for adults. Let's see who's out here at Cafe and Eatway. Hi, Mark. It's Benita real quick. How you doing?
Let the Disgruntled Fiddle Player tell you what.
What?
Mark, you do sound tired, and your eyes are really squinty.
That's true. They are squinty because of the tired, because of the myriad of things that have happened this week. I may or may not own property in Alabama, and I may or may not have gotten pictures of what the former tenants did to my property, and I may or may not be extremely angry. But I may or may not be happy that I've got some good people on it fixing things in Alabama. Why Alabama? Because I grew up in California, and what better way to get out of your shell, the shell that is California, than to go somewhere completely outside of it, and that would be Alabama. But Mike, going completely outside of California's shell would be like going to, I don't know, some third world country or Myanmar. Why Myanmar? I don't know. Why Myanmar? Because sometimes you got to take a step out of your comfort zone, I guess is what I'm saying. And check out things that are beyond what you are used to. Yeah, so that's been my week, pretty much. I'm missing all kinds of stuff that happened. Stuff that I know my lovely lady friend said, oh, you need to talk about that on your podcast. And I have not been able to think of a single one of those things. But it was a good week, other than the craziness and the heat and the lack of sleep. But rest this weekend, rest when you can. That's important to you. You understand. Look who's here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. Oh, boy. I'll cut you.
Thank you. What is it really about people that are like, let's say they decide that they're going to be annoying? What is it with those people? Then, if you take someone who is equally annoying and you put them in the same work environment, what happens? You get two annoying people. Then it's like you get a little, throw in two angry badgers in a bag together. It's going to be fun. Woohoo! Boy, howdy. And that's what you get. So I've observed a little bit of that too, and that was kind of interesting. What can I report? That they end up becoming friends. They end up working things out. Annoying people. They go, wow, am I that annoying? Okay. I found a friend and a confidant. I don't know. What do you think? What is the result when you throw two annoying people together? What have you discovered? 3 + 3 = 6. Mike Matthews Daily, I think is what the number was for the show. But that's neither here nor there. Up there, whatever that. What? Is that a drone? Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Thanks for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
I forgot Paul Buck. Paul Buck. Hey, I'm on a radio station tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to noon. I am on KKDV. That's 92.1 FM in the Contra Costa County area. You can also listen at kkdv.com.